Okay, let's talk about this assignment. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Every time I click, you're going to see this fireworks, so I just kind of like it. So we're going to go with that. I'll make this a little smaller. There we go. Okay, so in this coming up week, let me just bring Google Classroom onto the screen. There we go. What you're going to do is you're going to work on a brain lesson plan checklist template. Okay, there are, I'll just open up this bigger for you. There are a bunch of things here. And what I want you to do is look at these instructions. And I just want you to complete the checklist or the template. So nothing else. So if you're going to teach K to 6, your template will look like this one here. Okay, if you're going to teach 7 to 12, there we go. Your checklist, your template will look like this. Okay. Also, in some of the 7 to 9 curriculum, I believe it is now, they are using this format. So if you're teaching grade 7 to 12 and you find yourself faced with this type of a template, I'll send it to you so you don't have to recreate the whole thing. So anyhow, we've got some stuff on Meadowland Hunters lesson plan steps for your information. There are 2 checklists. Again, one is for K to 6 and the other one is for 7 to 12. And they're basically both the same with some very, very minor things. Okay, so that is what you're going to do for the brain lesson plan template. I just want the template, nothing else. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a second and I'll assign it for real. Okay, the other thing you're going to do is you're going to do a slideshow. Okay, and your slideshow could go with your lesson plan or the idea for your lesson plan. So as you are creating this template, I do want you to think about a grade, topic, and subject that you want to teach. Okay, so that when we think about the slideshows, could you add or support your lesson plan with a slideshow? Okay, but for the slideshow, there's some specific things that I want you to do. Okay, first thing that I want you to do is complete this scavenger hunt. Okay, and so what we'll do is you will work on this. If there are slides that you do not know how to do, that's okay, because this will be due on Sunday, the 18th. For the Monday, what I'll do is I'll post like the answer key for it. Okay, and then there is this checklist for the lesson plan slideshow. And so first of all, you don't need to hand this checklist in with your slideshow. I even put a watermark in there that says that, okay? But your slideshow should be set up like this. It doesn't need to have really any content in it yet, but again, thinking grade, topic, subject, okay? So I want you again, think K to 6, 7 to 12. It is a companion to your lesson plan, which you'll complete later, okay? You have to teach, or it has to meet an outcome. So if it's a companion to your lesson plan, then the outcome would be the same, okay? And then just sort of guidelines here for it should be around 14 slides. Could it be a little bit less, a little bit more? Yeah, it could be, okay? But these are the elements that you're gonna have. You're gonna have a title slide, you're gonna have a slide for the anticipatory set, and then have speaker's notes. And then you're going to have 10 more slides that cover your different segments or your different teaching points that you're going to teach. Okay. Also, they will also have speaker's notes, which I am going to just copy right now. And speaker's notes here in 18-point font. Okay. So, and again, I want you to think about big pictures and not little decoration pictures. Okay, if it's a decoration picture, then don't add it. Make your text bigger and just keep the slide with maybe a colored background or something like that. Okay, you haven't learned about the 10, 20, 30 rule yet, but we will, and that will come up in a little bit of a lecture. And also there is a bullet rule that is important to follow on slides as well. Okay, if you don't follow this kind of stuff right here, it will definitely affect your mark. Okay, and then of course you'll need a conclusion slide or a quick summary slide, if you've used outside resources, excluding images. You don't have to reference images for me, but if you're referencing information, it might be nice to have that on a reference slide, because also you may want to come back to it later, so it's important. Okay, do you need displays, materials, resources for your lesson? You should have that included as well, and also a next time slide, which would be like next time bring your calculators or something like that. Okay, don't forget to use contrasting colors, which is dark on light or light on dark, and no super dark backgrounds, okay? Because you're probably going to want to print your slideshow out, so let's keep the super dark backgrounds, especially black, to a bare minimum. Okay, you could have different kinds of backgrounds, pictures, things like that, but just straight up black, just not a good one to go with. Okay, make sure you check your spelling, especially in your speaker's notes as well. Okay, and then of course there is a rubric that shows you how you're going to get marked on the overall slideshow, which is not due quite yet. So you can see, and let me just close this up again here. Okay, is that for this week, you are going to look at the lesson plans, readings, and resources. You're going to complete the presentation Woo-Saw slides or scavenger hunt, sorry, and then you are going to start the sort of outline or template for your slideshow as well. This slideshow does not need to be completed this week. It will be completed in week 4 when you are thinking about the actual slideshow, and at this point you would start working on your lesson plan. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is the readings, the slideshow, and those elements that are here, and then of course the actual template to create your lesson plan template. I did want to point one thing out here, just a sec here. One thing that I'd like to point out is that I've added a couple of how-to videos on how to create the lesson plan template. However, there will be one minor addition to this year's overall template. And if we look here, so what I want you to do, like these will teach you the basic skills. But so everything will be the same in this template, except for I want you to add the words hook, modeling, guided practice, check for understanding, independent practice, and closure. So you'll have to add these different segments. Okay, so that's the only difference between what I'm expecting from you this term in winter 26 as to what the videos showed for fall term. Okay, so make sure that you add those in there so that you have them. It's really important because it then aligns with the overall rubric for this assignment, which I will add in a little bit as well. When we get back up to the completed brain lesson plan, here are the checklists again. So follow those and make sure that you have all the elements that are in these PDF examples in your submission for this assignment. And remember also one more thing again is that the lesson plan templates do not have to be completed. They are just blank templates like you see here on this PDF example. Okay.